And delighted to be joined tonight on the Chadron State Sports Journal by a very special guest, Alpine Hickstein, Chadron State sophomore golfer and a Chadron native, of course, former legendary Cardinal golfer. Alpine, so glad to have you here, a member of the Chadron State women's golf team. How are you doing today? How are you feeling?
Great. How are you?
I'm great. Again, thanks so much for coming in. You've got an amazing story that goes beyond high school golf, college golf, and everything you've done here in town, and it really just came about. Your coach, Coach Ritson, just put up a very interesting picture and a caption on Twitter that I noticed, and it's of you using the golf simulator. Now, that's something people know that you love to do, practice, practice, practice. The caption, though, is what caught my attention. It said, you were back at it after brain surgery. And my immediate thought was, wow, just incredible that you're already back practicing. And we have to talk to you. Tell us what's going on. You had brain surgery, now you're back practicing. So what's going on?
So beginning of November, Dad and I went out pheasant hunting, and on the way back home, I had these symptoms of absence seizures, basically, and I had this weird ringing in my ear where I couldn't even hear myself talk or do any of that, and my leg and foot got tingly on my left side. So I told my dad, like, hey, something's wrong. So
and you were out in a field pheasant hunting when this happened.
No, we were on our way back home.
You were on your way back home.
Yeah, we had just gotten done. We were out by Hemmingford when that happened.
Okay.
And so on our way home, that happened. I get back home. Mom and I are making dinner in the kitchen, and it happens again. I'm like, Mom, it's happening. And we had told her about the first time that it happened on the way back home.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, what the heck? So we went to the doctor the day after, and we told them all my symptoms, and they're like, well, it sounds like you have absence seizures, but normally kids in their adolescence have them. They usually find them in 2-3-year-olds.
Okay.
Not at my age. So they're like, let's just wait about a month. You log everything that happens when they're happening, how often, all that stuff. So I did that. You keep on happening. So I go back to Dr. Satera here at the Chadron Medical Clinic. Awesome lady. She's just so great.
Uh-huh.
And she ordered blood work to see if I had something wrong with my vitamin deficiencies or anything like that. Nothing came back. I was perfectly healthy. So she ordered an MRI on my brain and my spinal cord and all that stuff back in here.
When that happened, how shocked or scared were you when you hear an MRI on my brain and my spine? Was that something that you're thinking, wow, what is really going on?
Yeah, basically I was just like, what? Like, what is wrong with me? There can't be anything. I've been healthy my whole life.
Right, and this just happened at the beginning of January.
Yep.
And so you order the MRIs ordered. They start really looking deep into what's going on. What happened then?
So MRI was before Christmas break, actually, and we get a call 2 days after I got the MRI done, and Satera just said that I had a blood vessel malformation. I shouldn't be too worried about it. Go enjoy your Christmas break. And then she just said, we'll send you down to the neurologists and neurosurgeons down in Scottsbluff.
Uh-huh.
They've all heard great things about them. So we're like, okay, this won't be a huge deal. Just nothing. I might just have to deal with it the rest of my life. Nothing huge. So we go down there on the 2nd of January, and we meet with Dr. Rakib Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
And he specializes in spine surgery, and he has a partner that does neurosurgery, and he was out of town. So we talked to Dr. Hawk. He showed me the picture of the MRI, and he said that I have something called a cavernous malformation on my right temporal lobe, right above my ear, basically.
Okay.
And that it was about the size of a nickel, and what had happened is this thing is like a raspberry, he says, and it has little pockets. And on one of those pockets, it burst and bled on my brain, causing those seizures. And that's how I found out. And he said that since there was a ring around it with that blood that was new, he wanted to get it out before it bled again, or the blood had healed into my brain. Because then if it was going to bleed again, it could have been way worse, could have caused worse seizures or even death. And I didn't want to be on the road when that happened.
Sure.
In golf season.
And so, I mean, at that point, you're realizing how serious this really is. How quickly did they get you in for the brain surgery procedure to get you well?
So, like I said, I had that follow-up on the 2nd with Dr. Hawk, and then I went back on Monday for an EEG. I think that was the 6th.
Just a few days later then?
Yep. That was on the Monday. And then Tuesday I went back to talk to the actual neurosurgeon because he was in town.
Okay.
And my parents and I asked them all sorts of questions. They were super confident in the procedure just because of the location, my age, everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, let's get it done. And they offered to do it on Friday because they had somebody else that they were doing surgery on as well that morning.
Wow. So this all happened so incredibly fast as we're visiting today with Alpine Hickstein, Chadron, Nebraska native and CSC women's golfer, a sophomore who has just recently gone through brain surgery, getting shocking news. And I mean, you look great, you sound great, like you're feeling great. And so everything obviously turned out very well. I would imagine that's the case, that the surgery all went as to plan and things have turned out well.
Yep, I can't praise Scottsbluff enough. They just did so awesome. They actually had me planned on getting out of the hospital on Wednesday, but they actually let me out on Monday because I was doing so well, being able to walk around the hospital. Just balance was good. They said, you're free to go, you're good.
That's just incredible, Alpine, for you to share your story with us and to see how you're doing so soon after such a serious procedure. And golf is such a mentally tough game, and we've kind of focused on the mentality of learning about a situation like this and going through it. And you've shown how mentally tough you can be with your success over the years at Chadron High and college on the golf course. How did you overcome some of the fears and some of the unknowns that you had when you were beginning to learn about you needing to have this procedure, brain surgery, and not knowing maybe what was coming next or how it was going to be?
I'm going to be honest, I was a fruit basket. I was just crazy. I broke down a lot, but I knew I had a ton of support. There were people texting me, calling me, coming to my house and saying, you know what, Alpine, you're the toughest girl I know.
Yeah.
Just go get it done. You'll be fine.
That's incredible. Great to have a support system like that. We have, again, Alpine Hickstein with us here on the show, and we'll visit more with Alpine in just a few moments. Welcome back to the Chadron State Sports Journal tonight. Alpine Hickstein with us, Chadron State golfer and Chadron, Nebraska native. Alpine just recently in January had brain surgery, is already back practicing golf and getting ready for the season. And let's get into that a little bit, Alpine. Have you noticed any changes in your golf game since the procedure or anything? Has there been any effect on that?
Nothing has changed. Everything's perfectly fine. All good and dandy.
That's awesome. And then with schoolwork, too, you did have to make a minor adjustment in how classes were being taken because of some of the uncertainties revolving around the medical situation.
Neurosurgeon said that I would probably be tired random times, just crash for like 2 to 3 hours, take naps. And they said that the best case scenario would just take online classes. That way, if I wasn't feeling up to going to class and if I was super tired, I could take a nap, do all my work later.
Has that worked out pretty good? I'm sure you probably want to be on campus and around people, or do you like sort of right now being able to have your own schedule, do things when you want, just in case there's a reason that you need to be away from school?
Well, actually, I'm in my dorm right now, so I'm okay with being around people. I do all my work, and then I go hang out with my friends as long as I'm feeling up to it. So just being out of class is weird for me, but I'm in business, so I have 8-week classes. So this first 8 weeks, I'm only taking one class that's 3 credits, and then I'm making my load heavier the second 8 weeks when I'm feeling basically 100%.
All right, very good. Alpine Hickstein with us here today, and your season gets started with tournaments again coming up in March. I'm sure you're so excited and thrilled to be back out there playing and competing against the RMAC schools. What are your goals for golf this year?
I just want to not sweat the small stuff. After this brain surgery, nothing in golf is the end of the world.
Yeah.
So I just want to have fun, enjoy my season, enjoy all my teammates, just go out and have fun. As long as I'm having fun, I'm going to score good. That's
a great mentality. Tell me about some of your teammates and how you want to enjoy this season with your teammates and coaches moving forward with Chadron State Golf.
So we have some freshmen, 4 of them this year, and they're so awesome. One girl, her name is Kenzie, but we call her Kevin. You can just tell from how she acts. She's just a Kevin, and I love her to death. She's just a short little girl full of energy, just always so positive, and all 4 of them are. So it's just fun to be around them.
That's great. And Alpine, the work ethic that goes into being such a great golfer like you are, I know since I moved up here about 5 years ago, when we talk about you and we talk about sports, and people always say, oh, you can find Alpine out on the golf course and out on the golf course. I think you'd think you lived at the golf course, and it might feel like you live at the golf course. What is your work ethic like to be such a superior golfer and such a success at your sport?
I just have fun with it. I don't push myself to the point where I'm not enjoying being out there. If I get frustrated, I go and do something else.
So you will allow yourself to have a little bit of a breakaway at that point and kind of regain the mentality you want to go out and compete or practice?
Yeah.
What tournament are you looking forward to most coming up this year on the schedule? Is there one that really gets you excited or sticking out?
RMAC Championship.
RMAC.
It's such a fun course. So it's a 27-hole course, and we only play the white and the blue course. And there's only 3 holes that don't have water on them.
So you like those holes that do have water? Is that challenge?
Yeah, it's fun. You got to be smart with your shot placement.
Oh yeah, I've probably put more golf balls in the drink than I have in the fairway over my career. It's. Have you ever met somebody who likes the holes with that kind of challenge like yourself? Most golfers try to shy away from sand traps and water, but it's amazing that you like those kind of challenges. Why do you like holes like that are so challenging compared to some of the others?
It just makes you think. Sometimes when you have a wide open fairway, no trees around you, you can just go way right off the fairway, and just because you're not thinking about it. With water around or trees around, that makes you say, okay, let's get this in the fairway, get on the green in two putt, maybe have to chip or something, take a bogey.
Kind of narrows your focus down?
Yep.
So you talked about the RMAC Championships and the RMAC tournament being your the one you're looking forward to most and the one you're most excited about. When you think about the competitors and the other schools, do you already have some kind of mindset of, hey, it's going to come down to me and these few players who are very, very good? And have you narrowed your focus down into that tournament at all yet, or do you kind of wait?
No, I just kind of wait, see how it's going to go. My goal last year was to be in the top 20. This year's my goal is to be in the top 15. Next year, top 10, and senior year, top 5, because the top 5 go on to the next tournament. So.
All right. What golf ball do you play?
Titleist, Pro V1X.
Pro V1X.
Number 1s or 2s?
Number 1s or 2s. I wanted to ask because I don't get a chance to golf nearly as much as I would like to. I really want to try to play more, but I'm going to have to remember that ball. Maybe I'll be able to strike one even halfway as good as you some point, Alpine. This has been so much fun to visit with you, Alpine. We're just all so glad that you're okay and you're doing well and you're getting ready for the season. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us tonight on the Chadron State Sports Journal. Alpine Hickstein of CSC. Alpine, thanks again.
Thank you for having me, and I want to give a big shout out to all my supporters out there. Thank you for all the love and kindness that you guys have given me through these last years and especially this last month.